All right, everybody, we're back with another episode of Nick Wholesales Houses. I'm super excited for this one. It's with Dan Zitofsky. He's a PA legend. Everybody knows him. He is not super active now, but in his heyday, he was probably flipping 1 million houses a month, making $1 million a month. Big cat. Now he's more of a lender, more laid back, public speaker, but I've been so excited to sit down with him and pick his brain and learn. But before we get into it, before I hit you with a sauce, you know the drill. This episode is brought to you by Renovo Financial. So if you're looking for a hard money loan, look no further. I'll give you Jeremy's number and he'll bless you. Mwah. If you are a landlord, you're looking to do some cash out refis, pull some of that money off the street to put it back in, hit up Jeremy from Renovo. Their rates are good. Their process is easy, and they'll make you feeling good. I promise you that. So, all right, everybody, happy hunting. Let's get into it. We're good?
Good.
Perfect. Let's hit it.
Move this year.
And as long as you're on this side of that pillow, you'll be in frame. This side of the pillow, you'll be in frame. So we're perfect.
Cool.
Dan, my guy, thank you so much. I've been very excited to meet you. I watched your episode on Drew Farnese's pod.
Okay.
And I very much liked it. I really liked it a lot. So I've been excited to sit down with you. I hit up Drew. I was like, yo, Pops, you gotta get in touch with Dan. Bro.
Well, like I said, you came from Drew, so it was definitely because I get hit up a lot for podcasts, and especially like online. It's easier online, but I like doing it in person. But, you know, I always look at what people's shows are about, who's their audience, and what they're about. Like, if you're not doing things the right way, then I don't want to be involved.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So,
I'm very selective on who I let come on the pod. You have to be super verified, and also, I have to very much align with your values, or else it kind of, like, it doesn't really work out, you know?
Of course.
So if you're friends with Drew, then immediately you're verified to me. And then I listened to the pod, and I really liked it.
That was awesome. So what yours is it really about? Like, what do you focus yours on?
Yeah, so, you know, this is the theme of my podcast. I sit down with all the top real estate investors in the area.
Right.
And I just want to learn basically what I want. It's very selfish in a lot of ways. I'm trying to figure out what I can steal from you, whether or not it is pieces of your business or pieces of your mind. But as far as like an agenda or a program, there's not really an agenda or a program. I really just want to get to know you and see like what about you I can take.
All right, good.
If that's fair. You know, I don't have like a set agenda where we do this, we do that. I I just want to get to know you and shoot the shit.
That's awesome, man.
What the heck?
That's fun. That's what I love. That's what I love, man. Just keeping it fun.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
Right.
So how did you link up with Drew in the first place?
Drew's probably been following me. I'm in the business now like 35 years. Drew's been following me for a while. I remember when Drew got into business, him and a couple of other guys, and I've watched Drew through his journey, which is pretty cool. So we just been in the area. I live in Delaware now, from New York, and I'm a speaker now all over the world. So I guess Drew's been following me. I was more of a local speaker back then. Now I'm more international even. I do some international trips all over the United States, but international. Last year I did some, 4 other countries. So I get more of that going on. So I'm doing not only real estate speaking, but corporate America speaking too.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. It's very different.
It's fun.
Real estate and corporate are kind of like two polar opposite things.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
It's fun. You do sales trainings. You get brought in these companies and you talk to the sales team and you build culture with them. You teach them how to build culture and build relationships. It's all the same stuff, right? We're in real estate. We build relationships and we're problem solvers. That's really all we are.
Yes.
If you're a good relationship builder, so that's how Drew and I, we became good relationship. We became, somebody we value each other's relationship and we're problem solvers, right? That's really what we are as real estate investors. If we think we're anything more, we're full of
Yeah. You know what? That's a very, very good point.
Yeah.
If you're going to get a lot of deals, the only way you're getting a lot of deals is if you're a good communicator and that you're good at fostering relationships and maintaining it with people. And
Exactly, 100%. That's what it's all about. It's fostering a relationship with realtors, property managers, wholesalers, your contractors.
Yes.
Just other, private money people, your banks, whoever you have. Yeah, it's just a relationship. If it's a one-sided business, transaction, it really doesn't work well. You're going to constantly grind. You're not going to be in business very long. You're going to hate the business. And we all go through those ebbs and flows in the business where we learn to hate the business because we're grinding all the time, right? But what I always look for is who can I build a good relationship with? Who's somebody I want to like hang out with, do dinner with, have a drink with, if those are the people I want to do business with. Because business is easy to do, it's just long-term business is where the grind is.
Yes, and I think a lot of people get caught up in, let me, I'll maximize, this one transaction right here or right there. They don't think bigger picture and long-term because it's, unless you're doing it nationally, which a lot of people aren't, like, these are small markets, so you're running in the same circles.
But you don't have to be, see, we do a lot of national business. In fact, I'm doing international business now, but you don't have to even do that. But even locally, you could be the person, right, the guy, the girl that does that, if you're buying deals from a wholesaler, the wholesaler knows you're going to close when you say you're going to close.
Yes.
If you're the buyer and you get referrals from other sellers, you're looking out for the seller more than yourself. If you have private money, if you're taking on private money, you're looking out for your private lenders over yourself. You're not looking to nickel and dime your private lender to pay him very little, and you make the most money. But then you're always grinding for how do I get my next best private lender that's going to fund all my deals. You're a wholesaler looking for how am I get my next buyer to buy all my deals, right? Your realtors that don't want to show you houses because they know that you put lipstick on a pig. So it's just you building that relationship, you building the value, you building the culture in your organization or yourself of who you are, and that's how you build the business.
Yeah.
And that's how we've built our people. Like, how do you build such a big business, such a big brand? And that's how we do it.
Consistently good behavior and good actions with others over time.
Yeah, 100%.
Pays off like crazy.
100%. And right, it's funny because I've lent so many people money right around the United States, and you lend them money, and you get a certain rate and points in terms, and they offer that to you in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they find somebody for a little bit cheaper, then they don't go to you, and then they're having a problem closing deals in the last minute. They come to you. They're like, my deal didn't close. I need money. And I'm like, so why'd you go to this other person? All they've given me a rate of 1% better. Oh, do you believe in a relationship? You're making $100,000 on the deal, and you're going to cut me for $1,200. Like, you're killing a relationship for $1,200. So those are the people in my head. I'm like, all right, next. Kind of like they don't look to build a relationship. They're just transactional, very transactional. And years ago, like I said, I'm doing this 35 years now. I can't believe I'm saying 35 years, but 35 years.
That's amazing, man.
I'm like, man, how was I successful? And if I keep going back to the root of everything that I built, it's all been about relationships and really, looking out for the other person. Don't have that what's in it for me attitude. It's like, all right, if I have a private lender, how do I hook them up that they always want to come to me? If I'm a wholesaler, which I'm not, I very rarely wholesale a deal, but if I'm a wholesaler, how do I take care of my end buyer to make sure they make as much money as possible on the deal, and I'm still okay? All right, if I'm a fix and flipper, how do I put out a great product and that nickel and dime it so all the realtors see my property and they want to sell my property, right? So it's just, how does my property manager love working with me? It's because I don't put lipstick on a pig and become a slumlord. It's ultimately, it's like treat tenants the way you'd want to be treated, right? Treat private lenders the way you'd want to be treated, right? Treat end buyers the way you'd want to be treated. And if you really do that, you'll build the business. You might make a little bit less money in each deal, but you're not going to grind the rest of your life.
No, your life is going to be so much easier because you don't have to keep refilling your personnel. Right. Everyone wants to keep messing with you.
I was just at a lunch line with a bunch of about 15 real estate investors. Yeah. And a lot of them are like, man, the market's changing. I'm not getting the leads anymore I'm getting. And I'm like thinking to myself, why didn't you build something? You don't build anything. If you build, and the people that are successful really have built something phenomenal, and they don't have to grind anymore. And to me, the grind drives me nuts. I mean, I was there for many years. I was grinding. I was flipping anywhere from 30 to 50 properties a year, making 50 to 80 grand net of property, sometimes 6 figures. I just felt the grind. It was always there, multiple 7-figure years, and I was miserable until I built what I built now. And now it's, now I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it. My only problem now is summertime on board because everywhere else is working. I just had this. My wife said, "You're not taking the summers off anymore. You got to go work."
You drive me crazy, Dan. Get out of the house.
I'm bored. I'm like, I'm going to get a job at like Wawa. I'm going to get a job at like Buc-ee's if they were open. I'm like, I got to do something, because I built this thing where I always wanted to like be on the boat, be on the beach. And my boat is in my backyard. I live 2 minutes.
Are you Bayside?
Yeah, I'm Bayside, right down at the beach. But nobody's around. So I'm like, this is great. I got my boat out here, but I'm by myself. Everyone's working. So I'm like, I'm bored now. So I got to change it up next summer.
No,
so
I get that.
You're constantly changing, right? You got to figure out what your true vision is in life and work towards your vision, right? My kids are older, so they're not home with us anymore. So, but when I first started, I was chasing that dollar, and I was didn't care about, like, I thought making money was happiness. And that's really not how it goes, right? You got to figure out what your true vision is. And that's what I tell every investor I work with, every business owner I work with. I said, what is your vision? Like, what do you want? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you in real estate? Why are you own a company? Why are you an electrician? Why are you a plumber? Like, why don't you go work for somebody?
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's like, because I want to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it with. But are you really doing that? Look at your life now. All you do is create a higher paying job for yourself. So you got to figure it out, what you want, and then you got to work backwards. And build that, like I said, build everything backwards.
So when you were on Drew's podcast, that really stood out to me, your story. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about that?
Yeah, no,
no one talks about that.
Yeah.
And I have so many friends that right now, they're close friends that are very much in the weeds, I guess you could call it, or have high-paying jobs. And like, I do to a degree also, but like, so many people, they're spending so much time working to provide for their family that they miss out on their family. And hearing you talk about that was very impactful to me. Like, all right, maybe I'm not as crazy as I think. Maybe I am on the right path, not working as much as some of these guys.
Well, you got to first figure out why you're doing what you're doing. That's the most important thing, right? Growing up, I didn't have an easy life. Mother took off when I was a teenager. Father was there, provided, but wasn't really there as a true father figure. And I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't have money and all that stuff. I wasn't rags to riches by any means, but I didn't have the money, and just an embarrassment. I always thought, rather than make a long story short, short story long or whatever, I always thought that I'm going to be rich and be happy one day. To me, rich meant happy, right? So I always strove to make a lot of money, thinking I would be happy.
Yes.
So I had a wife, had kids, had 3 kids, and I was working. Like I said, I was doing 30 to 50 flips a year, making no less than, if I made less than 50,000 a flip net, I would wholesale it. I wouldn't keep it. So it's 50 to 80,000 range. Every so often I make over 100 grand on a flip, sometimes over 200 grand on a flip. So I was making multiple 7 figures a year, right? Had a beautiful house, beautiful cars. My wife had old jewelry. I had a car guy. I had a ton of cars.
Y'all were balling. You buy whatever you want.
I was a car, boat, watch collection. And I had, that was my things. And I was doing it really. I mean, I do love cars, I do love watches, I do love boats, but I was buying stuff to impress people that really didn't care about me because I thought Rich was happy. It was really, if I was being honest, I'm going to be completely honest, I was filling my ego is all I was doing, to the point where I almost lost my wife and kids. I was working so much, I was never really there for them. And I thought I was a great father, a great husband, everything, giving you everything you wanted.
You're giving them such a great life, like at least on the surface level, and as far as like a need standpoint goes.
Exactly, but at the end, really, it came down to, like, they didn't want any of that. They just wanted me, and I wasn't there for them. I wasn't actually present for them, right? So I just remember that argument we had. I think I probably talked about it on Drew. I talk about it on stage a lot.
Yeah.
And if my wife's sitting there, I start crying when I start talking about it. But I remember we're at the dinner with 3 other couples on a Sunday night. We got to dinner about 6 o'clock, and we're out there, and I'm on the phone until about 8:30 at night outside the restaurant. And she comes out with my food, and she just throws it in my stomach. She's like, here's your effing dinner. You POS. And we go home, and I'm seeing red. Like, I'm human. I'm like, I'm busting you're sitting there. This is how I thought. You're sitting there having a good time while I'm busting my butt to take care of you and give you all these things. And I told her, and she's like, she hit me with hard. She says, you're a horrible husband. You're a horrible father. And I'm like, I'm seeing red. I'm driving myself nuts to provide her this life. And she's like, we didn't want any of it. Oh, you wanted it. This is you and your ego. We just wanted you, and you're not here. And man, I dropped to my knees, and I was like hysterical crying. Like, how did I screw up? I thought everything I was doing was right. And how did I turn into what I didn't want to be? And at that point, I thought to myself, I said, what do I do? Well, really, what I knew to do is be transactional. I'll make a lot of money flipping houses. Flipping apartment buildings, hotels, land deals. I was just always transactional, wholesaling, whatever I needed to do, because I was looking for those big paychecks to buy those big things. I mean, I had cars that people rent these days and take pictures. I think Instagram, right? That's the cars I had. And I didn't really do that. I did it for myself, to pull up to a light and have somebody look at me and go like this. And I was like, yeah, it's fun till the ego wears off. That's really what I talk about. And and my mentor said to me, he said, well, why are you doing all this? And I said, because I never want to work for somebody. I want to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, whom I want to do it. And he looked at me and said, is that what you're doing? Working 100-hour weeks, never really present for my kids, coaching my kids football, and I'm off to the sidelines on the phone the whole time. I'm not really present. So I was just dialing it in at that point. And I always said, a $50,000 or $80,000 flip is a lot lot more enjoyable than a $600 or $800 a month rental property or sell a finance note.
Yeah.
And I said, but when you do those hundreds of times, they get pretty damn sexy and it allows you to live the life you really want to live. Now, do what you want to do. What is it? You know, I thought it was being on the boat all summer and in beach, but nobody else is around. You're on the boat by yourself in open waters. It's like, all right, this is cool for about an hour, then it gets a little boring. But you just don't figure it out. I get the choice. It's my choice to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I created that life that I really wanted to create because my goal was to be a great father, a great husband, a great grandfather, a great coach, a great uncle, a great friend. My goal was never, like when I go on stage, they always ask me for my bio. And the one thing I hate when they talk about is how many deals I've done, how much money I have and all the stuff I have. It's like, what is my bio? Who am I?
Yeah.
I'm a great father. I'm a great grandfather, great husband. I'm a God-fearing man. I'm a great mentor. I'm a great friend. And that's really what I want to be known for. When I live my legacy, that's the legacy I really want to leave, not how much money I made or how many deals I did. So a lot of things changed for me, and I got really abundant. And I've gone through this big abundance, and everything I do now is around abundance. My number one core value of my family and my business is to really be abundant out there, to get involved in organizations, because it keeps me going. It makes me want to make more money. Otherwise, I'm just done. How much more do I really need? So, and I talk to people about this because until they get this right, until they know their number, until they know why they're doing what they're doing, it's like going on a road trip without using navigation. Sorry, me coming here, right? Without using navigation to get here. You're just driving hopelessly and aimlessly, hoping you find the place you're going to. And if you work backwards and you say, this is what, if time and money was an issue, if you pull that calendar, time and money was an issue, what would your day look like? What would your week, what would your month, what would your season look like? And you have to know that. You really have to be concrete and know that. And if you know that, you can work backwards into that. Because you could flip enough properties to make $2 million this month, but what are you going to do next month? What are you going to do the month after? What are you going to do the month after that? So work the other way. How much money do I need to make to live the life I want to live? And then work backwards. So that's really where it got to me. And I'm just so glad. I was not glad the day that argument happened. I was just so glad it happened because I would hate to be in a position where I did lose my wife and my kids because I wasn't there, and I was this very wealthy, lonely guy that went from probably marriage, because I probably would have done the same thing in the next marriage and the next marriage and the next marriage, and I would have walked around with my ego thinking, oh, I'm the shit. I'm making all this money. I'm going to just throw money at you, and that's it. And that doesn't work. And I see it today. I see it so often today, and you probably do. Social media is so prominent today. It wasn't back then. That everyone
social media probably makes it so much on such a bigger scale.
It is, because it's the comparison syndrome, right?
Yes.
It's everyone thinks they have to be you, right? And I'm very careful to tell people what I have, because I don't want people to compare themselves to me, because I think everybody has, as Les Brown says, you have greatness within. And I truly believe if you could be a newbie, you have some genius on that you have to look for. And you have to use that genius on to be great. You have greatness within. You don't need to be Dan Zitofsky. I'm already done. You don't need to be Nick Wholesales. You're already done. Everyone's done. Be yourself, right? Figure out. People are like, how many deals do you have? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many deals I have. But what do you need? What is it about you that you need, right? How much money? It doesn't matter what I have, right? Don't try to compare yourself to me. I'm also 35 years into this. I'm also been beat in the face many times. More times than I can to share. And you're going to get beat up. You're going to fail. It's going to happen. It's okay. Don't be scared to fail, because if you don't do anything, you already failed, right? If you don't take action, you already failed. So one of my talks, my keynote talks that I get up and speak at corporate America about, I even speak at real estate companies about, is you're going to fail. Be okay with it. I spoke at a college. You're going to fail. It's okay. Be ready to fail. Because so many people are scared to get started because they're scared to fail. And they never get started. But to me, you failed if you don't start.
I completely agree.
You failed if you don't start.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah. So that's really the story, how I came through that part of it. And it gets me to where I'm at today. And I'm so laser focused on my vision right now, my personal, my business. I'm so laser focused on that vision. If something doesn't fit my vision, I just say no matter how much money I can make on it. And a lot of people don't understand that either. Like, but this deal, and I go, I get it. This doesn't fit my vision. I don't want to go in business and be a plumber. Well, this plumbing company, I don't want to be a plumber. Nothing in my vision says, I just said, God-fearing man, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a grandfather, I'm a coach, I'm an uncle, I'm a friend. Nothing in there says I want to be a plumber. So don't bring me a business about plumbing that I can make millions of dollars, because I have no interest.
You don't need the money. You're not playing for a check. You're playing for position at this point.
Right. I could use the money because the more money I make, the more I get to be abundant. But it still goes against everything I want to live for, right? My vision says I want to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it. Nothing in there says I want to be a plumber, right? So, and that's where, and the reason I'm bringing up a plumber is because I get offered businesses, and I invest in different companies, and I get equity partnerships, and I consult to get equity, and I sometimes infuse some money. But I see so many people, especially on social media, chasing all these businesses for money. I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing? Like, this is not your vision. This is not what you talk about. So, because they're always chasing that shiny object syndrome, right?
Yeah,
it's all
the
about,
lady in the red dress.
Let me chase money. And if you just stay consistent, like people ask me all the time, what are you doing now? I'm boring. I'm doing the same thing I was doing a few years ago. And I'm probably going to be doing the same thing in the next few years. And I have a plan for the next, and I hate to plan too much because I say you plan, God laughs.
God laughs, yes.
But I do have a plan, and I'm working it backwards, right, for the next 7 years. So I'm 53, right? People know my age now. And I'm working until I'm 60, and that's my plan as an operator, more of an operator and less passive. And at 60, I plan to revert and really pull back a little bit more and really change, everything I'm doing in my business to be really a lot more passive at that point and just really partner with some great people where I just fund all their stuff, and that's it, and let them take the reins. So, but once again, that's building a relationship with them over the next few years and making sure that they're quality. Very hard to do. Right?
Yes, it's hard. It's hard to find operators that you can really trust.
They say, what's the hardest thing in the business? I go to people.
Yeah. They can make it the easiest or the hardest.
They are the hardest in business, is the people in the business.
Yeah.
So that's the journey I've taken. And now for me, it's really about everything I do, how does it create the lifestyle I want to live? Like when I go out and speak at events, is it, all the organizers of the event, do they live by the same core values I live by? All right, are they out there just ripping people off? I even look at it like, where is the event? Does it make sense? Do I want to go there? Do I want to spend a couple of days afterwards, maybe vacation with my wife at those events? So I created a life that I wanted. Now my kids are older, so I get to do that. But, if I go to an event now, if I'm in California and I'm in Newport Coast, is an event where, she'll come out with me, maybe we spend another 3 days and then we enjoy ourselves, right? So is it just me going, because I can bounce at 100 to 200 events a year and speak at easily. Yeah. But now I am very specific on the events I speak for. And they're not, some are paid events and some aren't paid events, but they're very specific on where I go and why I do them.
Yeah.
Right. So I have to align. One is I really have to align with the event and the organizer.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So you could speak at an event every day if you wanted to, but you're only trying to speak or be involved with things that ultimately fit your, I call it your movie star image of yourself, like exactly like your vision of what your perfect life is.
Right.
Like if it makes sense for you two to go off over there, go, you know what, honey? Yeah, I'm down. You want to go to a vacation over there? I want to check it out. Well, I'll do a speaking event while I'm over there, type of thing.
Well, it's a little bit more than that, yes, but it's a little bit more than that. Do I align? Really, the first thing is, do I align with the event and the organizer of that event? That's the number one, right? If now to the point where I background check any podcast show I'm on, and any event I speak for, and also the speakers, I check them out too. I have my attorney just do a background check on all of them, because the one thing you don't want to do is align with somebody that's doing something unethical, because then birds of a feather flock together, right?
Oh, 100%.
So you want to make sure, because we've run into that before. I'm on stage with people that have been ripping people off, and they all of a sudden align themselves with you, and you're in that event. So I'm not there for, a lot of people who speak at events for ego. I don't have an ego anymore. I did back in the day. I don't want it anymore. A lot of times I go to these events, I have nothing to get out of an event. It's my give, right? It's my living abundantly to give to that event. I've gone to places I really don't care to be at. Not host, but, not the nicest places in the world. I've gone to those events and I've spoke there just because I like the host and the quality of what's going on, the people at the event.
And the impact that you can make with those people.
Yeah, that's
what it's all about. Makes a lot of sense.
That's what it's all about. Exactly.
That's super beautiful.
Yeah.
How long have you been speaking at these events?
Probably about 14, 15 years.
Wow.
It started off at the local, people always say, how do you speak so much? And I'm not a trained speaker or anything. I never paid anyone to train me to speak. I kind of laugh at that too. I know a lot of people go through these paid trainings. And
do they?
Oh, they do. And then they speak amongst themselves, right? So you and I pay to go to this event, and I speak on stage, you're there, and then you speak on, and then you call yourselves the speakers. I truly believe this. And over time, I get better at it, right? And I never think I'm perfect at anything, but I'll always get better. I like live events because I like to read the audience and I like to connect with them. But I believe that people are so scared to do something because they're not perfect, and they'll never get started because they want to be perfect, right? And I always say imperfect action is better than perfect inaction, right? So I'm actually an introvert, believe it or not. So I'm an introvert. People don't believe that about me. They're like, how do you speak in front of, like, the biggest room with 17,000 people at the Atlanta Arena? How do you speak in front of them? I said, you just do it, right? You just get better and better and better. And you stop worrying about what people think about you. Because
it's very freeing.
Yes. Yeah, if you stop worrying what people think about you, and you go out there and you just perform and you give, right? And you become a conduit. Like my friend Tom Olson says, he goes, be a conduit. I love that. I use his line. I give him credit for it because it's truly what we are. We're conduits, right? We're givers. We're givers. We're givers. We're not takers. And while people are sitting there and they're kind of criticizing you and they're trying to fix you, and they say, well, you do that, I'll change the world. Keep fixing my grammar. Keep fixing what I say, and I'll change the world. And they're going to be perfect. And before they ever, start a business or speak, let's talk about the people that don't start a business, right?
Yeah.
They need a website. They need a logo. They need a name. They need a CRM system. They need staff. They need VAs. They need websites. They need everything, business cards, right? And they're sitting there getting ready to get ready, and they never actually take action because they're so scared of failing. And to me, the only time you fail, well, I said it before, is when you don't take action. Yeah, I'll tell you this. I think I might have told us the truth. I had 3 fears in life. One was snakes, but I got off stage and they put this python, I think, yellow, whatever that yellow snake is a monster, right? It was a yellow snake, right? A snake, right? It was a python. So I get off stage and they put it on my head. It was like 80 pounds. I'm like, oh my God, I got the snake on me. So I got over that fear real quick. My second fear, which I won't get on because the juice isn't worth the squeeze, is heights. I don't really care about that.
No, you know what? Actually, I'm so afraid of heights, and I tried to get over it. I jumped out of a plane with my buddy thinking that it would fix it. Dan, I'm still afraid of heights. That didn't help.
If you would have waited, it would have landed. You should have just waited.
I should have.
Over perfectly good landing airplane.
Rational fear. Keep that fear. It's good for you.
It's like, if I really wanted to get over it, they said, like, go to Tony Robbins, walk on. I don't want to get over it. I don't care about heights.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't go up high. I'm good. But my third fear, which is major, it lives in my life all the time, is my fear that I'm going to leave this world one day playing it safe, and my kids are going to look at me and said, man, my dad could have been something. He should have done what he said. And that eats at my heart. So,
and I'll
never be able to do everything in my life I really want, but there is no way I will ever play it safe in this world. So I'll do my due diligence. I'm a due diligence freak. But once I'm ready to strike, I'll strike, and I'll strike hard, and I'll keep going. And I'm not worried about failing, because if I fail, I'll fix it. But can you imagine all the things, the what if, could have, should have that people talk about in this world?
I see it all the time. I see
terrible.
It every day. I do a little bit with wholesale education, and it's mainly a bunch of free stuff that I do. I do like a bunch of free content all about how to get started in wholesaling, and so many people hit me up, and I see it every single day. Everybody asks all these questions. I'm like, oh, Nick, send me a contract. I want to see what it looks like. What if this happens? What if that happens? None of that matters, dog. You don't have a deal. Why do you care?
Exactly. That's the rest one with it. Well, I can't do business because I don't have an LLC. So you don't have a deal.
You don't need an LLC. Yeah.
So just get started. like screw up. Fumble screwing up this. And nowadays, when I started, we didn't have what we have today. We didn't have you, Nick, teaching wholesaling. I didn't have anybody, right? We didn't have social media. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have meetups. We didn't have RIA groups. We didn't have events. I had 3 events I went to. I stood up a stage calling sheets. Rob Allen, Russ Whitney. That was 3. That was it. You buy their tapes and you go home with their books. That was it. So now you have the information is plentiful out there. There's so many people that will help you. If somebody brings a deal to you, I'm sure, like, hey, Nick, I got this deal. I don't know what to do with. I'm sure you'll partner with them on the deal. I do all the time. I didn't know that. Just go do the work.
Yeah.
And I sit there and I watch, and I'm at these events and I listen to all the speakers, and they're giving you what you need. Just take action. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? You fail. Okay.
Eat the loss. Who cares?
If you don't do anything, you failed already. That's what people don't get. You failed already. And that right there is what eats at me daily right now. It's like, what could I be doing to take action? Because I have these amazing, amazing aspirations and dreams, and I'll never accomplish it. It's impossible.
Yeah, to do all of them.
Unless every single person had housing, unless every single person had food, every single person had clean water, every person had education, every animal was off the street, every veteran had shelter. I mean, it's just every disease was cured. Like, it's not going to happen in my lifetime, but I'm not worried about it. I can't fix all of it, but I could keep taking action to do things, right?
Yes.
So that's how I got crazy abundant. And that changed my life. That's what makes me keep going out and want to make more money, because abundance. Now, if I just went out and did business to make money and put it in my pocket and buy another watch, it would wear off. It just doesn't have the same, know, when you're giving 7 figures plus a year, every single year, and changing lives, it changes. It moves you. It moves you at a different level. It moves your kids. Your kids watch. My kids are involved now. They do stuff. My nieces and nephews, they're involved. They see it. They're doing stuff. Like, they don't care about the watch. They don't care about my cars. They don't care about my houses. Yeah, they
enjoy it. They enjoy
their head. They're like, all right, I'm getting this watch. Yeah. This one's getting this one. They're all already divvying up our houses and stuff. But I'm kidding aside, but like, you're changing. You're truly changing. That's legacy. Yeah. Like, so people talk about they want to help. Like, do you really want to help? Like, are you just talking or are you doing, right? Like, not like where it's comfortable, where it's uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. Like, when you're writing checks that are ridiculous, like my stomach hurts when I start donating the money we do. Like, it changes you. And it always is. I know it's like this foo-foo thing, right? It always comes back to you 10 times over. It really does. I'm telling you. The people I get, the rooms I'm in, I just can't even tell you. It's such a different. When you're doing millions and millions of dollars in abundance, right, with people and donations, and you're in the room with the people that do it, when you want to do a deal for $2 or $3 million, it's nothing. It's nothing. They will get behind you. They do it.
Yeah.
Here you go to a local RIA and you try to borrow $200,000. It's like, oh my God.
It's like pulling teeth.
Oh, I'd rather lick the floor if a toilet bowl or something.
Yeah.
Dealing with those people and try to do it. And I know, because I spoke at these events, and I always say, at an event, let's try to do a donation to that event, to the local first responders, or the local homeless shelter or something, right? Or the food bank in that area. If you get like $50 in a bowl, it's a lot. But you do events like that. You do events, and these people are making, some of them claim to make millions. But you do an event like that with other people that live abundant, and you're changing the world. And those are the people I want to hang around. Those are my circles. So that's why, like, even when I do my own event, I do like an inner circle workshop like once or twice a year. It's 15 people, 20 people, and we wind up donating a certain amount to the event. I do my VIP dinners around the United States. Yeah. They're starting up again in September. I'll go around. We'll have about 15, 20 people at the VIP dinner. Do a great 5-star dinner, closed room, anything extra, we donate, right? Why do? I do it because I get to hang out with like-minded people, and I get to live among it. Right? If people aren't going to invest in themselves, or they don't put other people first, why would I want to hang out with them?
Yeah.
So that's why I do it. And I see other people do it, and they do it because it's a business model, which is fine. That's their business model. They want to be event planners. I wouldn't enjoy it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I personally wouldn't enjoy it. Yeah. I wouldn't want to do an event to make $10,000. That doesn't excite me. But if I can donate $10,000,
that's exciting.
Oh, that thrills the hell out of me. That's better than any watch or car I could have. That's just, for me, selfishly, that's why I do it. So you got to figure out selfishly, what do you want? And it's a mind screw with people. It really is. They don't get it. And until they do it, they'll say, and they talk about it, but they don't do it. But I always tell people, you don't have to be me. Our VIP dinners are $1,000 a piece, not a lot. Each person costs, I don't know, $300-$400 at dinner. 5-star restaurant. So maybe $600-$700 gets donated. But if you have 15, 20 people,
that adds up.
It adds up. I mean, we were doing it to the wait staff. We were changing their lives. Now we're doing it to first responders in the area. We're splitting it up: shelters, first responders, and food banks in each area we do the dinner in. Just because we're hitting harder right there than just the wait staff. But $1,000 is not going to change our lives if we're real estate investors. Plus, you're going out to a nice dinner. Plus, you're hanging out with 10 to 20 other great entrepreneurs that you become family with. Plus, they all live abundant. Plus, they want to be in the room with you. It's just there's so many benefits of it. And together, you could make a tremendous difference. And that's kind of what I put together. That's what I put together. That's the kind of events I do.
Yeah, I like that. I like this.
So, and I always tell people, you don't have to do that. You could even get a bunch of your guys, say, bring $100 each. Let's go to the local Bob Evans or diner, and whatever the bill is, just throw $100 bill in there and just give it to the wait staff. You're just looking out for other people, and it'll start to move your mind, and you'll start to hang around. If you tell people, hey, bring $100, we're going after breakfast, and I'm like, $100, I'm not doing that. Do you really want to be around these people?
Oh my goodness, no.
That's how you figure out your circle.
It's funny, younger me would never have understood what you were saying.
Right.
You would have thought you were crazy. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, one thing I've learned in this is switching up my circle to more abundant-minded
Right.
people has helped me go, not even to the next level, but 2-3 levels up so quick just by getting with people that think in a similar way.
Right.
And like, one thing that it does is kind of, not to sound too crazy, but it gets the losers out of the way in a lot of ways by adding that financial commitment and adding that the idea of abundance.
Hey, it's funny. You'll go to local events, because I'm sure you go to local events, right?
Yeah.
You'll start to look at people, and you'll be like, he's like call him king of dipshits, right? They still hang out together. They still talk about there's no deals. They talk about the economy. They talk about government, how bad it is. They talk about all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And the people that are doing what I talk about, they're just like, how do we do more together? How do we do more together? How do I help you, Nick? What do you need from me?
Yeah.
Like, you need something? Let me get on the phone. Let me call my attorney. Let me call my accountant. Let me call my property manager. Boom, boom, boom. The other people's like, oh, I don't want to share my attorneys with you. I don't want to share my account with you. Right?
Those guys will always stay small.
They live in scarcity.
It's insane.
There's two mindsets. There's abundance and there's scarcity. That's it.
For me, I am anything scarcity mindset. Even like if something like that starts going to my mind, I immediately do the opposite. I run away from it. All the most successful guys that I've met, and doing this pod, I'm every week I sit down with someone who's a top dog in the area. So like I'm kind of only around that every week now.
Awesome.
And it's starting this pod was probably the smartest thing I've ever done, because it's completely changed the circle of the people that I'm talking to every week. And like all the time, everybody that's at the top, everyone has the same thing. Like I switched. I was originally only in PA. I switched to New Jersey, and then I became friends with all the top guys in New Jersey. So like the Santini's, the Tim T's, the Francesco's, the Phil Vaughn. I don't know if you know
Phil, I know very. I meant
Justin Johnson. All these guys. All they want to do is help me, mentor me, give me all this game, and like, I don't know, it's
that's
cool.
big. That's an abundant mindset.
Exactly.
See, scarcity. People think if I give you $1 or if I help you, right, you're competing with me. And if I give you $1, I'm going to lose $1. Abundant people think if I give you $1, I'm going to get 10 back.
Yes.
Right. That's the difference. And I see it. I mean, like, how many people have told me, I used to coach people one-on-one. I don't really coach them one-on-one anymore in the real estate world. And it was expensive.
Yes.
It was a good investment, a very big investment. But in my head, I said, I never coached anybody if I didn't think I could 10X them. I just coached one guy. I was with him today. And he told me that he raised I coached him how to raise private money. He says he's raised over $10 million, has almost over 130 properties now.
That's
right?
wild.
Yeah. So from when I coached him in 2019, I'm like, my God. And you realize like, he called me and he's like, how much is it gonna cost me? And I said, nothing. It's an investment. He goes, whatever it is, I'm in. And he was in. And he did every little thing. And look, he raised over $10 million, has over 130 rentals now. Do you think it was worth the investment for himself? Here's my thing. If somebody calls me and they say, hey, can you coach me? And I said, we go through it. And in turn, I turned down most people. But the people I offered to, I know I can help.
Yes.
The only reason they don't do it is because they don't invest in themselves. But that's a good level for me, is because if you're not going to invest in yourself, you don't believe in yourself. So I'm not going to take my time to help you if you don't believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, because the only way you wouldn't make your money back is if you didn't take action.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost saying it's almost guaranteed if you take action, it's going to work. If you take step 1 through 5, it's going to work, right? So look at that in business when you do your free wholesaling training. And I'm not very good with anything free, right? Even if I take stuff for free, I generally, it's not really worth it.
None of it's one-on-one. This is like a bit of way I'm like an introvert, kind of like you with a lot of that stuff. Anything that I do that's free, it's not any kind of one-on-one. Right. Like it's just free content out on the internet. Like if you just like you could just take that and never spend $1. And you can,
Right.
if you were that special type of person, you could take that and do something.
But look at that. How many people actually do anything?
Oh my goodness, almost none. And everyone that actually does, like, do something for my free stuff, there's like a handful of people. I'm like good friends with them. I think they're so impressive. That's so cool that you did that. God bless you, Mike James.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There is enough. You've given so much information out there right now. If someone actually just sat there and took it, they would actually be successful. But when they invest in themselves, and a heavy investment in themselves, they almost have to go through this. So when things get tough, they can't quit because they invested so much. So my mentor years ago told me, he says, "You're being selfish by not making people invest." And I was thrown off by that. And I said, "So I'm giving people stuff for free and I'm being selfish?" He goes, "Exactly." So then this is a mindset. This is all about mindset, guys.
Yeah.
So, and think about this. If somebody invested with you $100,000 to be coached by you, or $50,000, whatever it might be, whatever, 10, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Let's just say they invest $50,000 with you to be coached by you. And you told them how to wholesale. How much is your general average wholesale fee?
Inbound marketing, 25.
25,000?
For inbound marketing, outbound marketing, 15.
Okay. So let's say 20,000. Go right in the middle.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So they invest $50,000 with you. Do you believe if they did everything you tell them, you can get them at least 3 deals this year?
Oh my goodness! Within 6 months, they're going to be doing a deal a week if they listen,
so-
if they just shut up and listen to me. Yeah,
So $60,000 they can make in a couple months.
yeah,
They paid you 50 to make 60. Would you do that if I told you give me 50? I'll give you 60 in a couple of months.
yeah.
You'd ask how many 50s can I give you, right?
You're right.
But is it easy?
No, it's simple, but that doesn't make it easy.
Right. So if I invested $50,000, do you think I'd quit when it got hard?
No.
So selfishly, you didn't believe in enough to make them invest $50,000. So because of that, you're not going to make them that 60 in 3 months. So because of our own low self-esteem that we didn't believe in ourselves enough, we didn't charge that. And I used to do, and I'll tell you this, it's a different mindset. I'm telling you, I used to do this can I buy you coffee and pick your brain all the time, right? And I would sit with them, and I'm terrible at it. I have a friend, Dave, he has a great mastermind. He has a protege program, mentor program. Dave Alexander, he's phenomenal. I just went to his mastermind. He's probably one of the best I know. And he does it.
Dave Alexander?
Yeah, he does it great. He's in Texas. He runs 2 mastermind events a year, one in Tennessee and one in Orlando. And I love it because he does it free. He's good. He's good. He gets people to partner with him, and he's a great mentor, right? And there's a couple other guys that mentor people out of his program, and they do seller finance and all accurates. But if they invest the money with you, and you I'm telling you, you don't just take everybody. If you sat with them and you said, I know I can make this person successful, and you know who's going to be successful or not, and they invested with you, you know for sure you're gonna change their life. But they didn't invest, so they don't do it. So they quit on themselves when they got tough instead of being successful. And that's what my mentor taught me. And it was really, it screwed my head up.
You're screwing my head up a little bit.
It's like, wow, I really screwed. And how many people I thought could have been good? But what I do in my world is I raise capital. I buy distressed debt from the banks or distressed assets, turn them into turnkey rentals, either keep them or sell them to investors, not real estate investors like dentists and doctors and business owners on seller finance notes, and stay in the game for 30 years, get all my money back. It's not easy, but it's step by step. If you do what I say, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It never not happens. But when you can't find a deal or you can't find the money, you quit. But when you invest your money, you're not quitting.
No, you can't find a deal. You look harder and keep buying, and eventually you find a deal.
You're going to put 50 grand, 100 grand down and quit because it's a little tough. But now if you didn't quit, how much money can you make them a year? That's what I didn't get, and now I get it. So
I've never thought about it.
That's why, and that's one of the reasons I put a lot of free stuff. If I do mentor somebody, it's more of a consulting gig. Like I'll work with you for the day and kind of that gig, because I don't want to work with somebody that's not going to do the work.
Yeah,
it's just because it'll be a grind on me. And I'd rather get into more group coaching again, like I used to do, because then not all the work's on my shoulders. And and that's why I do the inner circle workshops. And I do the VIP dinners because those are the people I want to be around. And then I help them. I have no problem getting on the phone and helping them. But if they don't come to the inner circle event, if they don't make it, I have to interview. If they don't get in, if I offer it to them and they don't do it, then you're not going to listen to me anyway. So why do I want to waste my time? So I build a family and I build a circle. So it's really important in this business with all the noise going on is to really build your circle.
I like that. Building your circle is huge.
And you're doing it.
Yes.
You're doing it. You're getting your circle. Just keep growing that circle. And not a lot of people going deep with those people. So, like deep relationships with people you like, how do we do business together? What can I do? What can you do? How do we do something together? And that's what it's about. Instead of being on an island by yourself, do stuff together.
Yes.
So I hope that brought home that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that really did. Yeah, that drove that like a stake in a vampire's chest.
I'm sorry, guys. Now all of a sudden he's coming out with a $100,000 coaching program.
Yeah.
But you should invest in it. You should invest in it.
I agree. I'm hitting you with a 50 piece.
If I give you 50 and you tell me I'm going to be within a couple months I'm going to make my 60 grand, 100 grand.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I?
In theory,
unless you don't believe you could do it.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's a no-brainer. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that cleared it for me. And I was at that point, I was coaching 8 people every 6 months. And my coaching fee back then for 8 people every 6 months was 30 grand, right? And so basically 16 people at 30 grand is 480,000. And I gave it up because I was just tired of one-on-one coaching. But
it's exhausting.
It is. One-on-one coaching is very exhausting. But I only took 8 people at a time for that reason. Group coaching,
give a lot of yourself.
Group coaching is a lot more fun for me. I enjoy it a lot more. In the fall, I'll probably be getting back to a group coaching program. A lot better.
I like that idea.
But I still don't take everybody in it. You're not going to charge as much, but you take the quality. You get quality people in there, and everybody kind of doing something else that they all help each other. And you're just kind of a facilitator. You're not the coach, right? You don't want to be the coach, but. It's just surrounding yourself. This whole world comes down to, I think we talked about today, it's relationship building, problem solving, building your circle, and figuring out your vision. And no matter what business model, there's no right or wrong business model, flipper, wholesaler, landlord, a lender, seller finance guy, whatever it is you do, just building a relationship and stuff like that.
Yes. And fostering the relationship that you have and take them as far as they can go, baby. Yeah.
Exactly. That's it,
my man.
Oh, this was good.
This was good. Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure. This was a lot of fun.
I'm glad. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Hopefully we open up your eyes or your audience's eyes and they start. My biggest thing is, I want people to take away is like, what is their vision for their lives and what can they do to be abundant?
Yeah.
Just think differently. Stop thinking the same way. Stop thinking at a lot deeper level and how they could change lives out there.
I love that. That's a really good message.
All right, brother.
My man, Dan, thank you so much.
My pleasure. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, everybody. Happy hunting. And Dan, how do they get a hold of you, or how do they follow you? Where are you at?
Social media, Instagram, Dan Zitofsky, Facebook, Dan Zitofsky. Follow me or become a real estate investor with Dan Zitofsky is our Facebook group. That's really it. Yeah, ask questions in there. I'm the only one that answers my questions. If they message me, I don't have a virtual assistant. I answer every message. Happy to help in any way I could, and just keep chasing your dreams and keep living your vision.
I think that's a good way to end it. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Happy hunting.
Take care, guys.